So hello and welcome to this short tutorial. Today I want to introduce you in creating your own first plugin with Yana 4.0. So I'm going to use NetBeans 6.9 for this one. So we start with creating a new file that will actually contain our database description. We click New File, select XML document. Okay, click Next. So we type in a name for our new file. So we are gonna create a simple weblog application today. So we name this file my blog. Click Next. Well-formed document will be okay for now. I'll select Finish and off you go. So NetBeans automatically creates an root element and some simple information. We won't keep this for now. Instead, I'll use some auto-completion that's built in with NetBeans. I'll demonstrate that. Type in DB, press tab, and off you go. So we just created a simple database container. Navigator shows it here that you got a database container and an XML declaration. So for convenience, I'll also put in some DTD. So if you want to see the list of auto-completion options, you go to Tools, select Options, select Editor, and Code Templates, and off you go. Click OK. So to go on with our weblog application we will build today, I will start by adding a new table. So I type in TBL, press tab for auto-completion, and off we go. So you see that a new table tag has been created. You will see that it has a primary key and a declaration block. So I'll go on with entering a name for my new table. Call it block. Press tab, and it jumps to the next option. Asks me to put in a title. Okay, let's press enter. Jumps to the next point. So demonstrate auto-completion dialog again. At this point you may enter a constraint, foreign key constraint, or a trigger. So that goes before the declaration. Inside the declaration block you can choose from a variety of possible column types. Let's start by entering a block title of type string. Press tab for auto-completion. I'll call this one block title. Press tab. Alright. And then off you go. So now we got our first column. I'll add another one for entering text. I'll put in text. We'll name this block text and have it called text. Okay. So you may want both of these to be not null. So I go over here. You see there's an attribute called not null. Select this, press Ctrl space, and an auto-completion dialog pops up and shows me the options that can go here. In this case it's yes or no. I'll select yes. Do the same again for the other column, and not null. Press Ctrl space, select yes, for I want this column to be not null. So now we got a title and a text. I'll just put in another one that I will call date. So type in date, and it enters automatically a date column. I'll call this one block date. Have it named date. So you now may recognize a tag that you haven't seen before. It's a default tag. Actually, it's a default value for this column. In this case, it's a magic value current timestamp that will automatically be converted to whatever is appropriate for the DBMS you selected. So if you're sticking with MySQL, this might be the now function. If you're using Postgres or MS SQL, it will select whatever is appropriate for your DBMS you're currently using. So now we have everything we need for our first table. We want to create another one. So I'll just enter this one here. It's basically the same as before, so I just copied it. And see, I've changed the names to comments. In addition to our first table, we want to add a comment author. So I again type in string, press tab, call it comment author. Alright. Name it author, and here we go. So what we will want to do now is to create a foreign key reference from table comment to table block. So I will type in ref for reference, and auto-completion does the rest. Now asks me to put in a name for the column. I use block ID since I want to point to table block. It automatically guesses the names of the target table here and the name of the target column here. So press tab and it goes to a label column. Label column, I will use block title. This is useful for showing another column instead of the ID that it actually points to in the user interface. So it actually points to the block ID, which is an integer value, and you won't show that integer value in the user interface. Instead, you want to show the block title. So I selected this here, and I will name this column block entry. Again, this goes to the user interface. So now I have the reference column in place. I need to add a foreign key constraint, put it up here. It should point to table block and to block ID. So this is the name of the target column. If the source column is the same name, if it's different, I could use another name of a target column by entering an attribute column and put it here. If both are the same, you can leave column alone. So let's open this up. Our block table actually has a reference column with a current key constraint that points at the block table with primary key block ID. Okay. Let's finish this for now. We now got our database. Let's switch over to our browser and create the application. So we'll go on. I've already opened and installed a software development kit for Yana. So this is the dialog that will guide you through the process. You may enter a name for your plugin here, enter a short description here, and select as an icon here. Now there are various options you may enter at this dialog. Basically it's a preparation step where you may enter this basic information, may enter your name, may enter additional data that will drop for now. You may also define your own interface options. This is by adding your own custom actions that you want to perform on click. You may provide a database file. We will do that in a second. And you might add installation files, so basically SQL files. You don't necessarily need to do this. Actually, if you provide a database description, the SQL files will be created automatically. However, if you don't like this process, you want to do it yourself. You can also add your SQL files at this point. You will drop that for a moment too. So if you want to just add your simple application, all you have to do is go to Preparations tab, enter a name, select your database, click Complete, and off you go. So as I'll go on, selecting the file I just created, which is my block, click Complete, and save changes. Tells us everything is okay. And you may recognize that he just put up two new icons above here, one for table block and one for table comment. Let's click block, and it brings up a dialog that actually shows us that there is an entry in our table. You've got this box where you actually can enter and edit information. There's a search tab above here. If you click it, you get a quick search dialog, or you may also click here to open an advanced search field where you may search for title, text, or whatever is inside this database. Click it again to close it. To enter new entry, you go on, click this, and this dialog just pops up. Shows you creating a new entry for table block. You may enter your title, text, and date here. Click Save Changes. So you may filter by column by clicking the filter icon. A filter dialog comes up, asks you what you want to filter, and you may put on whatever you want to search for here. Click OK, and off you go. You may of course order by any column. There's a delete dialog if you click here, and you may open a detailed view that will show you more details on whatever you are currently viewing here. So there's also something you recognized already. This is that pencil. You click it and an edit dialog comes up that asks you to select how many pages you want to view. And also you may recognize these small icons that allow you to switch to alternative layouts. So I'll just select this one, and here we go. It seems more appropriate for a weblog, isn't it? So it puts everything right up in the top and the text below. So there are some more you may select from. You might select, let's try it again and select another one. So this is basically putting the column names on the left and the column values on the right. And we got an overview. You may choose here. It's basically a list with a title and date. So you may choose that as an entry page to show whatever new entries you currently have. So, alright, let's stick with this for a moment. Thanks for watching. In the next tutorial, I will show you how to actually do some coding, and we'll use that comments table and integrate this form in with the other, so the comments actually do appear below the block entries. But let's keep it for the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.